in the sense that it's been an Eastern tradition within Asian and Chinese and Japanese and Middle Eastern cultures. The ear has been used as a therapeutic access point for many centuries. While at the same time, auriculotherapy has developed in a more modern format through the Western culture, through Europe and through America, and it's become more of a modern therapeutic protocol. And there are similarities between the two identities, but there are also differences between the two identities. Auriculotherapy, as we teach it, is a very modern, natural form of treatment. By using the ear, we can detect and stimulate active reflex points on the external surface of the ear, so it's a non-invasive external procedure. And we use electronic technology. We're not using needles, and we're not using meridians, and we're not using pulses. We're using a purely electronic technology to detect active reflex points and then to treat those active reflex points. So the goal is to improve brain and body functions. Auriculotherapy is not a treatment for ear pain or ear problems. It's a natural treatment for the rest of the body. So we're attempting to alleviate health conditions and dysfunctions in other parts of the body distant from the ear. So Dr. Paul Nogier, a French physician, is regarded as the father of auriculotherapy as we know it today. So the primary shift from what was probably better known as auricular acupuncture or ear acupuncture occurred in 1957 when Nogier started to distribute and publish his new theory as to how the auricle, the ear, could be an access point to the rest of the body. So prior to this time, the ear points, there were like a list of ear points on the ear, but they were quite scattered, and it was almost like a recipe book process where there were different points that you would stimulate for different health conditions. But the new model was as what's called a somatotopic inverted fetus pattern of points. It's almost like a map of points, and these little points correspond to the pattern of the actual physical body. So if you know quite a bit about the anatomy of the human body and you learn a little bit about the anatomy of the ear, you could pretty much guess where a lot of the points would be. So here's a very simplified visual of what we mean by an inverted fetus. So if you can imagine your whole ear, and if you had a little baby inside your ear, then the head would be the earlobe and the arms and the legs would be up the top of the ear. So what is the difference between auriculotherapy and acupuncture? Because there are a lot of acupuncturists who do ear acupuncture, who put needles in the ear, and there is also a separate and distinct profession almost of people who practice what is now called auriculotherapy, and they don't necessarily need any knowledge of acupuncture itself. So auriculotherapy is a separate and distinct entity to acupuncture, and the primary reason for that is that it doesn't rely on meridians. If you look at most meridian charts of acupuncture, then if you look very closely you'll see that there aren't actually any lines running over the ear. No meridians enter the ear. So acupuncture points don't move, they can be found whether the channel's active or not. So in your meridian charts there's literally a map of different points, and depending on what you want to stimulate in the body you'll use those points. But they're always there, they're always accessible. As opposed to auricular points that are only there, they're only active when there is some physical or functional disorder in the corresponding part of the body represented by that region of the ear. So in terms of meridians, some of the names of meridians are not necessarily directly related to the pathology in that organ. So if you have a liver meridian, if you're using the liver meridian, it may not necessarily be connected to wanting to do something in the liver. Whereas with the ear points, it's a very orderly anatomical arrangement of the ear points based upon this inverted fetus map of the body. So if you're stimulating a liver point on an ear, then what you're trying to do is you're trying to access the liver in that particular person. Body acupuncture points tend to lie below the skin surface. They can be quite deep even, as opposed to ear reflex points which reside in the shallow depth of the skin itself. They're basically on the surface, and we access them by finding them on the surface of the body. Many body acupoints are stimulated directly over the same body areas where the symptom is located. So if someone did have a liver disorder, then guaranteed there probably will be some needles fairly close to the liver area. Whereas ear points are found at obviously a considerable distance from the area of the body where the symptom is located. So
hold on there. You want to stop smoking? Pick up the phone right now. Call 215-332-3132. I'm a subject. 20 years smoking, 5 minutes, done. No withdrawals, no headaches, and I feel great. It's been a year now, and I can tell you other people who have done the same thing. So pick up the phone, call 215-332-3132, and stop smoking today.
Harsh. How do I mellow that harshness out? Well, foodstuffs. Well, they're actually added.
So, in a finished cigarette, 20% is expanded tobacco, stems, and reclaim, tobacco from returned cigarettes, and 30% is recon. The other 50% is tobacco, which is also treated with sugars that mask the bitter taste of nicotine.
Cancer that's almost completely blocking an airway. Sometimes you can hear lung cancer in smokers. By the time most lung cancers are discovered, it's already too late to operate.
A cigarette is doing you damage. Every time you inhale, tobacco smoke condenses.
Look, is this what you want? You want to look like this, or do you want to stop smoking? Pick up the phone, call 215-332-3132 right now. Make an appointment and stop smoking today. Don't wait, do it now.
Smoking creates blood clots, which can cause strokes. Some strokes kill, blind, or paralyze. This is the result of a minor stroke in a smoker, aged 38.
38. Is that scary or what? Pick up the phone right now. Call 215-332-3132 and get off the cigarette today. Call us now.
No wonder smokers feel short of breath. Their lungs are rotting. Shows how tobacco smoke attacks a vital gene which protects lung cells from cancer. One damaged cell is all it takes to start lung cancer growing. Water, the main artery from the heart. Smoking makes artery walls sticky and collect dangerous fatty deposits. This much was found stuck to the aorta wall of a smoker, aged 32. Tobacco smoke get into your bloodstream and can damage the delicate blood vessels inside your eye. We now know that smoking is a major cause of irreversible blindness.